for that tear gas. It chokes you up and you can barely talk. But
can y'all believe what we're watching right now? Like, this is history in the making. This is Dallas, the Dallas protests.
It went south.
What's up, squad? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Get comfortable. I'm gonna talk about a few things, just get a little chit chat in. So we're taking a break. I figured we just take a little break from the vlogs, just to kind of go over some of the stuff. Let's just decompress with everything that's been going on. Before we get started, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, turn on your notification button, and let's go ahead and get on with it. I wanted to just get some stuff off my chest. Deron makes fun of me a lot for, he says I talk to myself, which I do. I do talk to myself. I talk to myself a lot, just kind of throughout the house. Everybody say, like, you know, talk to yourself is fine as long as you don't answer. I do that too. I do. And I don't really call it talking to myself. I think out loud. I've been doing it since I was younger. And of course, with all of this going on and with the different opinions that I have on everything, the thinking out loud has been just rampant. Yeah, I've been thinking out loud a lot. So I figured, you know, why not? Stephanie, you got a whole YouTube channel with about 3,000 people who do like to listen to what you say sometimes. So why not just get in front of camera and talk to the camera about these things that I'm thinking about? So I figured I'd do that. So y'all saw the footage about the protests that was going on in Dallas. We do still have, of course, protests. I just found out today that they lifted our curfew. We've been on like a 5 o'clock curfew every day. And apparently today is going to be the first day without that curfew. I don't know. That could have been a rumor. Watching that protest and the rioting and the looting, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. And I remember just kind of feeling heavy. And I even had to talk to Deron about it because I felt a little heavy. It was so many things going through my mind. One of the things was I wanted everybody to be heard. When people were bashing the protesters and bashing the looting, there was so many elements. One, I understood it. I understood it, and I wanted everybody else to understand it. I understood why people were trashing and tearing things up because they were angry. Even me and Deron had this discussion. You know, he was totally against it, and you know, he's like, there's no rhyme and reason for stealing, and that is true. I definitely agree with that. I don't think that even then these people are going after stuff. I'm like, the looting is simply a representation of, if you're not gonna respect the law, why should we? The act could have been anything, but yeah, bashing up the stores and taking stuff was more so of a, let me communicate in your language. If you don't respect other people, why should we? I hate to see it. Absolutely hate to see it, but I understood it. You know, there were some stores in Dallas, some black-owned stores that got damaged. I personally did not know that these places were black-owned. So yeah, it was upsetting to see that they were, you know, they got caught in the crossfires. My thoughts on it was small price to pay for change. Would I be upset? Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I would be tore up. That's not to discredit any of their emotions and how they felt about it, but I think that to look at the representation of it, I would chop it up. I would chop it up because I understand what they're communicating. I couldn't see myself turning around to condemn those people when I know that at the end of the day, I would be condemning their message. We have done peaceful protests. The kneeling was peaceful protest. Marching up and down the bridges is peaceful protest. I feel like when people say that they need to see a peaceful protest or we should do a peaceful protest, what you're really saying is, can you protest in a way where I don't have to see it? It does not inconvenience me. Hell, I don't even know you protested. But protest that way. That's not a protest. That's a group meeting. A protest is for me to get your attention and to somewhat prohibit whatever you are doing on a regular daily basis so that you can help me, so that some type of change can come about. If I'm protesting and I'm all peaceful and you never even look my way, I'm not protesting. I'm literally just having a moment. I hate to bring about psychology and all of this, but it's like I have to be a negative reinforcer. My action has to bring about the change behavior in you. I'm doing something in order to make you do something. If I'm doing a protest and you don't even notice that it's going on, then that's not a protest. So I was getting so frustrated with all the criticism about the protests and the riot. To me, the rioting is the equivalent of that angry girlfriend or wife who is trying to get her significant other to pay attention or to stop doing something, and he don't listen until she finally start busting up the kitchen or the dishes, throwing and then finally he won't listen. And that's what we're saying right now. So no, I don't condone stealing, but I condone doing what it takes to get somebody attention. To be honest with y'all, I did not watch the video. I didn't watch George's video. I don't need to see it. I get it. I cannot watch that. I can't watch it. And the same goes for like When They See Us. I can't watch it. Like stuff like that are nightmares for me. And I cannot sit and watch a video of a man's life leaving his body. Just knowing that that's what happens in the video is all I need to know. What I began to realize was that Black people have been bamboozled for a while into thinking that we needed to shrink ourselves in order to make the white person comfortable in the room. By shrinking ourselves, I mean by taking away those unique layers about us that makes us us. The thing I began to realize that white people never saw us as a threat. The stuff that they have done has not been because they are scared of us. It's because they can get away with it. To just look at the difference between the two riots we just saw. One with a group of white men that were holding AK-47s protesting about not being able to get haircuts, go shopping, and we're threatening, looking like they were about that life. Those police officers at that riot looked scared, and they had every right to be, because those men looked like they would have pulled the trigger and sued later. Then you look at our protests, and there's nothing threatening about it. No weapons, just cardboard signs. Yet the police look ready. They're snatching people out the crowd, like literally choosing people to snatch out of the crowd. And it's one of those things where it's like, how can you say that one particular race is a threat to you when the other race is doing something way of me always thought maybe our history made us threatening. You know, maybe the things and the statistics have made us threatening. But after really stopping and looking at it, looking at the cases that people have gotten away with, George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, just looking at those things, you don't go after people that you're scared of. These people were sought after. Ahmaud, sought after. Trayvon Martin, sought after. Sandra Bland, sought after. I mean, let's be real. If you're scared of someone, you gotta stay away from it. You know, it's like, I don't even want to deal with it. Let me not put as much friction in this interaction because I'm scared and I don't want it to go. I know you about that life, so I don't want it to go there. But it's like, in these situations, how is it that you're scared of this person, yet you're causing the friction? You're causing for everything to get heated. They're not scared. They've never been scared. You know, so of course we teach our boys and we teach each other, you know, when you get stopped by the police, you know, you make sure that you're respectful. You make sure that you have both hands on the wheels where they can see them. You talk polite. Don't lose your temper.
Don't put your hands in your pockets. Don't put your hoodie on. Don't be outside with no shirt on. Check in with your people. It don't matter even if you're down the street. Don't be out too late. Don't touch anything you're not buying. Never leave the store without a receipt or a bag, even if it's just a pack of gum.
Almost in agreement of saying, we are threatening, so let's prove that we can be less threatening. And the fact of the matter is, we've never been a threat. My skin color is not a threat. Just because I am a shade of brown, that does not mean that I am a weapon or that I am dangerous. We have been teaching our kids and each other to go the extra mile to make them comfortable, but it really teaches our kids and each other to bow down, to feel inferior, and I don't want to teach that. And you know, some of y'all saw that post where I posted on YouTube, on Instagram. I'm not going to teach my kids to feel inferior. I'm going to teach them right from wrong. I'm going to teach them good from evil. I don't want them to think that they don't have the right to walk up and down the street in a hoodie. I don't want them to think that they have to change the way they talk because they're the white family in the room. I don't want them to think that they have to make themselves smaller because of their appearance and because that they're next to a white person. I don't want them to think that they have to dress a certain way to make other people comfortable. I don't want them to not be themselves. I don't want them to grow up thinking that loving themselves culturally is not okay. I want them to embrace their culture. If it is a hip-hop culture, you know, if they want to talk slang, ebonics around us, that's fine. That's another thing. I got this a lot when I was in school. I'm pretty sure a lot of you all got it. But I remember I had to call my dad's job. He worked at UPS. I remember I had to call my dad's job one time in regards to some insurance stuff. This is when I could still be on the insurance. And I had to talk to the human resource person myself. After I got off the phone, she called my dad to tell him how well spoken I was. I was like 25 at the time. And so my dad was like, yeah, she's in college. She's a pretty well spoken person. And I don't want to say that I was talking white. I was talking grammatically correct. And we have been conditioned to think that talking grammatically correct or talking professional is talking white. As if black people don't have it in us and our culture to talk professional or to talk grammatically correct. Like, yes, sis, I can be professional and not throw out my ears and stuff like that when it's not time to. And that's the thing that I love about us. We are so layered. We are so talented. We can do all of those things. We can go from level 10 back down here to level 1 if we need to get with somebody. We have that range. We have that right to do so. The thing that made me mad with the George Floyd thing, the main thing that really irked me was that, wow, we have been doing everything we could. You know, we've been trying to teach our kids everything. We've been trying to pull out all the stops just so that we don't get killed. And here you have it, a man, literally, his hands are behind his back. He's laying on the ground. There's nothing else that he can physically do to threaten your life, yet he still got killed. And that let me know that this was never about black people being scary or being a threat. We are being killed because they can get away with it. We are being killed because they know they can. I can bet you everything that that officer knew that was going to go no further. It was just going to be taking this man's life, my word against his. No one's going to care about this black man. Versus if that was a little white boy or a little Asian kid, he would probably think twice. Because the thing about that, when you see this other person who is not of color, you think they have the resources to come after you. You think they have the nation to come after you. You think they have the intellect to come after you. You don't see that when you see this black person. So you feel like you can just take his life because it doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. But oh, what a nice awakening to see that Black Lives Matter. So let's get into the Black Lives Matter conversation, right? I remember when Black Lives Matter came about, I was, on the side of maybe we need to add 2 at the end of the sentence. We need to add comma 2. We need to put 2, that way they can get it. But then, after just thinking, if you still don't get the difference between Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter, that is a cognitive problem. If you cannot understand what is being said with Black Lives Matter, and you feel like you need to make the argument that all lives matter, my hands are tied. This is going to be like talking to a brick wall. Something is not computing in your mind, because how can you not understand the structure of this sentence? It does not say only Black Lives Matter. The argument of all lives matter is the rebuttal of only Black Lives Matter. Never said only Black Lives Matter. The only time you need to say all lives matter is if someone had only at the beginning of Black Lives Matter. So I said, you know what? We don't need to add 2, because if you don't understand the simple structure of Black Lives Matter versus the argument of all lives matter, there's something intellectually wrong with you. I've seen so many analogies. I've seen so many illustrations for people that make the argument of all lives matter. And even those, it's like if you still don't get it, there's more that needs to be done with you than I can help you. But don't worry, I'm working on my certifications and all of that. Eventually, I will be able to help you see these things. And then the other thing that's been going through my mind is the arguments of, well, y'all need to do something about black on black crime. Yes, you are right. We definitely need to do something about black on black crime. I don't know who said we don't need to do something about black on black crime. Did you say we didn't need to do something about black on black? No, I didn't say we didn't need to do something about black on black crime. So yes, we know black on black crime is an issue. But bringing up black on black crime in a moment where we're trying to fight injustice and being killed by other races and saying that it's not okay, bringing up black on black crime during a time like that is ignorant. It's counterproductive. Why would you want to be counterproductive in trying to bring humanity together and to stop killing another race? It's almost like saying, stop. Y'all don't worry about killing us because we killing each other. Let me give you an example of what I think of when I think of black on black crime argument. So you have Susie. Susie makes mistakes at work all the time. Her work always has errors. It never fails. Susie has, she has typos sometimes. Sometimes her paperwork be a little messed up. Sometimes, she sends emails to the wrong people. She always has a lot of error in her work, right? She's working on it. People bring it to her attention. Still been working there for years, but it's no question about it. Susie has errors in her work. A group of people walk by Susie's office and they start to tamper with her work. They start sprinkling ink on her paperwork. They go in there and mark out some stuff. They go even take off some keys of her keyboard so she can't type. And Susie walked by and she's like, what are y'all doing? Like, why y'all messing up my work? What? And they say, well, you mess up your work all the time. You always have errors in your work. Yeah, I understand that, but that's my work. Like, you're messing up my work. And let's say somebody else walked by and they say, yeah, Susie, well, you do. You have errors in your work all the time, so. But that don't justify them being able to come in my office and mess up my work. So you see how that doesn't make sense? So I understand that my work has flaws. But that doesn't give you the right to come bring more errors to my flaws. The stuff that I'm working on it. So I cannot get with the black on black crime argument in the middle of us trying to get justice for police brutality and the killing of our people. I don't know. I think that out of everything we are experiencing, it's definitely history. I'm proud to see it. Breonna Taylor, I hear that they're getting ready to reopen that case. So we're making steps. Like, things are being done, but we have not made it by far. To be honest, I won't feel like we've made it until George Zimmerman is under the jail. Because how and why he is still walking around, I think that was the case that hit me the hardest. Because that was a baby. That was somebody's baby. And I don't know, out of all of the cases that, and the different hashtags that we've had with our peaceful protests, they were disheartening and they hurt. The one that hurt me the most at the time and still to this day is Trayvon Martin. That would just always be a scar on me. But I really hope that something was said in this video today that resonated with you. Maybe you had some views on stuff that, hey, they were your views, and who's to say my views are right? You have every right to have yours. This is not a video to completely change your mind. These are just my thoughts on things, and I wish we could have open dialogue about it, but this is what we got. So thank y'all for coming to watch this video, listening to me rant. At least I got somebody to listen to it, like Duran be laughing at me just ranting to myself. So yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed because I have some wonderful treats coming in, some resources, some partnerships with brands that cater to African American children and just kind of get them educated about themselves, teach them about themselves before society does, And so I have a video coming up on that, and I cannot wait to share that material with y'all. So please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Hey, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like button anyway. And I will catch y'all in the next video.